Hello reception, we're going to look at a subtraction number story today. So if you want to join in, you could join in with me at home. These are the things that you will need. You will need some animals or some characters. 7 animals or 7 characters. Those are the ones that I have in my home from our storytelling this year. And you will need some summer hats as we move into summer with this weather. I've collected all of the storytelling hats from reception this year. You can see the pirate hats that Miss Douglas wore on World Book Day, Grandad's Islands hat, Michael Recycles hat, some safari hats for Rumble in the Jungle, Winnie the Witch's hat, and some hats for Antarctica. Okay, so the number story is this. In my house, I have 8 hats and I have 7 animals. I have 7 animals. So what will happen if each animal comes to me and asks for a hat to wear outside to protect them from the summer sun? I'll need to know at each time how many hats I've got left to make sure that there's enough hats for every animal. So let's have a look. We have got 8 hats, so 8 is our whole. 8 is our whole. So what will happen? Along comes the tiger who came to tea. He's a mischievous tiger. Which hat do you think he's going to take? I think he's going to have the summer cap because he's quite cool, isn't he, the tiger that came to tea? He's going to have the summer cap. So once that tiger has his cap on, how many hats have I got left? I started with 8, but I've given 1 away. Now I've got 7. I've got 7. What does that look like on my number line? I started with 8 hats, but now I've got 1 less. So I jump backwards on my number line, I jump backwards and I get to 7. I started with 8 and I minus 1, I cross 1 out, and now I've got 7. I've only got 7 hats left. Now let's see what happens if another character wants a storytelling hat from our classroom. Along comes the zebra from Rumble in the Jungle. What hat does he want? Let's have a look. He's going to ask for the safari hat. So the zebra wants the safari hat. And I want to know how many hats I've got left. How many hats have I got left? Here are our 7 hats. But I have given 1 to the zebra. I gave 1 to the zebra. I'm now left with 6 hats. I've got 6 hats, which is fine. Plenty of hats for the children in our classroom. Until along came another zebra, because we know they live in herds. And he wants something to cover his head. He wants Grandad's Island hat. There's the trilby that Grandad wears in Grandad's Island. So that giraffe wants Grandad's Island hat. I started with 6 hats, but 1 has gone to the zebra. And now I'm left with only 5 hats. Is there going to be a hat left for the children in our classroom? I've got 5 hats. Here are our characters. Along comes the polar bear from the polar regions. Which hat did he want? He wants the bobble hat. So the polar bear has the bobble hat. There he goes. He's got the bobble hat. So I had 5 hats, but I've given one away to the polar bear. I'm left with 4. I've only got 4 hats left. Are there going to be enough left for the children? Let's have a look who we've got left. We've got one of our favourite animals. We've got the giraffe. The giraffe. It's Gerald the giraffe. What does he want? What hat does he want? He wants Michael Recycle's hat, the eco superhero we were learning about just before school closed. There's the giraffe, and he's going to go off with his Michael Recycle hat. Off he goes. How many hats am I left with? Had 4, and I gave one to the giraffe. So now I've got 3 hats. Oh, I don't know if there's going to be a hat left for Miss O'Rourke. Here's a couple more characters. Here's a penguin from Antarctica when we learnt about penguins together. He's looking at the hats. What hat does he want? He wants an ear muff hat, headband hat to keep his ears warm. Off he goes back to Antarctica. So Miss O'Rourke had 3 hats, but 1 went to the penguin. So how many hats have I got left? I've only got 2 hats. There's the pirate hat that Miss Douglas wore for World Book Day, and Winnie the Witch's hat. 2 hats. Along comes my house gnome. Here's my house gnome. What kind of shape head has he got? Can you see? It's a 3D shape. We're going to look at that later this term. It's like an ice cream cone. He's got a cone head. So which hat is he going to take? That's right. He's going to take Winnie the Witch's hat because that fits on his head. So off he goes. Off he goes. So Miss O'Rourke had 2 hats. 1 went to the gnome. So I've only got 1 left. And that hat is the pirate hat, which is perfect. My favourite video about subtraction is subtracting with pirates. Make sure you look at it on the slides and practice your subtraction. Practice, 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 math magicians. And we will see you later.